Okay, yesterday we saw the Hakanis that made the Chachamim that being Megadol behemoths and chickens and chazerim and kalavim and spreading nets. And today we get to the 10 Hanoim Yeshua ben Nun made when they conquered Eretz Yisrael, and he made 10 conditions. He made 10 conditions. A very brief Gemara, very nice Gemara. We're beginning on the bottom line on Pei Amid Beis. The bottom line on Pei Amid Beis. So Asarin Tanoim, Hisna Yeshua, there were 10 Tanoim that Yeshua made. Number one, right? The 10 Tanoim that he made. Number one, Shahayim Marin Bicharshin, that you'll be able to go ahead. We're going to go over in each and every one of them. First, we're going to list the 10, but the first one is that you should be able to graze your behemoths in the forest belonging to somebody else. We said in the Yishuv Eretz Yisrael, you're not allowed to have raised behemoth dakis, but again, the behemoths that you were able to have, you would be able to graze in the yar, in the forest of your friend. And number two, right, you can go ahead and go into a person's field, take grass from the person's field, chutz mi tilson, except a field of tilson, which is fenugreek, and which seems to be that it's very good for the fenugreek, the asavim, so therefore you can't take it out. That's number two. Number three, the koitmin netios, I think I skipped. Number two is malakdim eitzim beside the sayim. Number two is you go ahead and again we're going to qualify this. You can gather wood from a person's field. Number three, malakdim asavim b'chol makom chutz mitilson. Number four, the koitmin netios b'chol makom. You can go ahead and cut off branches from trees. Again, the Gemara will qualify all of this. Chutz mi grupiyos shel zayas, with the exception of an azayas tree, you would have to leave over 2/3 of a fistful. And number five would be a spring that is starting to be used for the first time. You know, it's being established that the people of the city can go ahead and use the water. And number six, umechakin biyama shel tveria. You could go ahead fish using a hook in Yamashet Tveria, even though it belongs in somebody else's rishus, you would be able to go ahead rod with the rishus of Naphtali. You would be able to go ahead rod and use a fish hook. You can't spread a trap that goes across the Yamidas Hasvina that would impede the boats from going back and forth. So that would be number six. Number seven, beniftim lachuri hageder. And you're able to go ahead and you have to go to the bathroom, you'll be able to go behind a fence in somebody's rishus. And even if it's a field that's full of a saffron, which is very, very, very expensive, you'll be able to go ahead and in behind that fence. Again, all these will be qualified. And number eight, umahalchin b'shvil harishus ad shetered revia rishnia. And you'll be able to use your friend's field to walk in a path until the second rain, which is the second review, which is Yud Zayin Macheshvin, according to Rashi. And number nine, umistalkin letzidi hadrachim, if they say this hadrachim, you'd walk on the sides of people's fields to avoid walking in the potholes in Rishus Harabim. And number 10, v'hatoya ben akramim mafsig v'oilo mafsig v'yarid. If you're lost in a friend's vineyard, you're able to cut your way out. You're able to go ahead. You don't have to walk the long way around. You're able to cut your way out and make a shortcut. And number 11, and that obviously the question is going to be, it said 10, and now you have number 11, is that mace mitzvah koine makoma. Mace mitzvah is koine its place. Okay, so those are the 11. The Gemara is going to answer that the din of mahalchin b'shvil rishus was instituted by Shlomo HaMelech. The other 10 were by Yeshua. Going over each one. Sheyumarin b'charshin amra papa layamorin eladaka b'gasa. Only if it's a behemoth daka in a yard that's gasa. You know, it's a forest that's well treed. It's a well treed forest. So you're able to go ahead about it and have a behemoth daka in there. Aval daka b'daka, but a small animal in a field that is very thin, in a yard of forest that's very thin. B'gasa, or even a large animal in a well treed field like. The koshkin gasa b'dakin, certainly a large animal in a field that is not so well grassed, you would not be able to do. So that's the first thing. Umalaktin, the second Tanoi was Umalaktin Eitzim Isada Sehem. You'll be able to go ahead and gather wood from the fields. Now, again, let's qualify it. According to this, it's mashma, you go to anyone's field and take wood. We're going to see that's not so. Only if it's speaking about certain like thorny and thistle bushes. In other words, inferior stuff that is there to be burnt. Aval b'shar eitzim, any other wood besides higmi v'hisi loy. V'afilo b'hizmi v'higi, and even those le'amarin ela b'mechubarin, if they're connected to the ground. Aval b'telushin, but if the owner of the field himself had disconnected them, then loy, you won't be able to take them. V'afilo b'mechubarin, and even when you can get the hizmi v'higmi that are mechubarin, that are connected, le'amarin ela b'lach, where it's what, where it is moist. And again, moist wood is not good to burn. Aval b'yaveshim loy, even yaveshim, then not. So, right, and even then, when it's mechuber and yavesh, you would only be able to take it ubavashla yashvish. You don't uproot it. So the qualifier for taking wood for somebody's field is quite comprehensive. In other words, only hizmi v'higi. That's what that's lach the mechubarin and you don't uproot it. And we said that number 3, you're able to go ahead and gather asavim b'chol makom chutz mistei tilson, with the exception of going into a field of fenugreek. You won't be able to go into a fenugreek field. L'meimra the tilson malo lo asavim, right? I think fenugreek we use on Rosh Hashanah. Is that one of the simanim? Tilson? Yeah, I don't know what it is in Metzias, but I remember Mr. Fenugreek, right?
Fenugreek to me.
Yeah. Uramini, I'll ask you a stira. It's mashma that tilson is that grass is good for tilson. I'll ask you a stira. It's a mission in Kalayim. Tilson she'alsa in mini asavim. This is the way Rashi learns. Tilson that goes up with mini asavim, it's Kalayim. Now, guys, remember one of the things we do on Rosh Chodesh Adar, right? They would mashmin al Kalayim. They go ahead and the Kalayim troops would go out. The Kalayim police would go out and tell the people you got to remove it from your field. So this. If they saw this asavim growing, obviously the asavim is not the grass we're thinking about. It must be some type of has some type of vegetation to it. Is growing with tilson. You don't have to tell them to be oikarit. You know why? Because the person themselves is going to be oikarit. Since it's mashma, it's not good for it, and therefore the person themselves are going to go ahead and get rid of the grass because it's not good. There's your kasha. You told me that what? It's field of tilson. You can't be malakat asavim because asavim is good for the tilson. Here you see regarding when it grows together, you don't even have to tell them because they're going to take care of it themselves. So Rav Yirmiyah like kasha, kan lizera, kan lizirin. If it's for zera, then right, it's no good. You don't have to worry. Kan lizirin, but if it stalks, then it is good. In other words, stalks it is good because it's going to support the stalks. Lizera akashu le asavim the machish le. For zera, for the seeds of the fenugreek, then the seeds are not good. Why? Because they're going to weaken the nutrients, I guess, in the karka, and they're going to give you an inferior product. However, lizirin, if you're going to use the fenugreek for the purpose of its stalks, the grass is good. The chikaimi beni asavim mirkava, when it's growing among the grass, it's supported, and you want it up. So therefore, when do we say that you're able to take it? You're able to take it when it's lizirin. But if it's when it's the zera, then it's not good. But if it's zirin, then it's good. Then you will not be able to take it. Now, Iba is saying another teretz, kan l'adam, kan l'behema. It's if it's for the people, right? For people, it is good. Behema, kivin l'behema who the zara asav nami boile. In other words, for the behema. For the behema, you don't care if it gets mixed in. For a person, you care if the grass gets mixed in, so it's not good, and therefore the person is going to take it. But if they're making it for animal fodder, then you don't have to. Then it's you should leave it there. It says the Gemara, uminoy yadinon. How do you know for what? You know, you have to know whether to go ahead and you're able to gather it or not. Now, if it's a field for Adam, you can't gather it. A field behema you could. It says Gemara, Papa. If it's grown in straight rows, then it's for Adam. If it's not grown in rows, then it's not for the animals. So again, Marin, we said, going over the Takonis, the first one was Dafka Daka Begasa, a behema Daka in a heavy forest. Malakted Eitzim is the Sayem. We said Eitzim only if what it's his mevihigi that's lach mechubarim. And we said Malakdim asavim b'chol makom chutz mitel tulsin is only stalks, then it's a problem. But if it's for animal fodder or stalks, then it's not good. You should leave it there. But for the Bryce that said it was speaking about for Adam or for the Zera itself, and then they're going to get rid of it. It says more of a koinin the kia b'chol makom chutz megrupi shel zayis. You can go ahead and you could you cut down I guess netilas, a sapling. You want to replant it from a makom exception. You have to leave 2 fistel for the zayish. Pirish Rav Tanchem Rav Bryce mishum zakein echad. We're going to see that's the Rabbi Shua ben Levi. Bezayis kibetza, regarding the height. The shear Rashi says regarding the height of that you have to leave is the shear of a beitza. Bikonim ubegafonim min apakakul l'mayla, and when regarding reeds and vineyards from the knot and l'mayla and above. In other words, you can't cut more than that. Ushar kol ilanos min ivoy. Rashi says ivoy is from their fruit of the ilan, which is the soft part, the soft branch you could take. V'loy min chuda, but not a heavy branch shel ilan. Min chada sheino is the peris. You can only take a branch that has not produced any fruit yet. V'loy min yashan shu is the peris, not one that's been established as a fruit-bearing branch. Okay. From a place where it doesn't see the chama that you'd be able to take, and v'loy min makom shehu roya es chama. You know, if you have branches in the tree that are in and they're protected by the other branches, they don't see the sun, so the fruit on those branches will not be as ripe. So the ones that you could take from those, but you can't take from the ones that see the sun again. So you're qualifying the tanoi by all this case. So this it comes to its laws. And from the meged, from the bounty of the crops that see the sun. You say to Ma'ayna Yotzet Chila B'nei Ayir Mistaf Mimenu, a Ma'ayin that goes at Chila B'nei Ma'ayin, they could go ahead and they could use it, right? Rabbi Chahuna B'nois L'Dom, and you pay him. The law is not like that. It seems to be that these Tanoim were made that you shouldn't have to pay. This is the condition. So conditionally that you don't have to pay. So the law is not like Rabbi Bar Rav Huna. You can go use a fish hook in the Yom Tvelia, provided you should not go ahead and make some type of trap that seems to, it seems to be there are different traps. Let's define this, guys. 1, using a fish hook. 2, using nets that are you pull in, and 3, using a barrier that you spread across, and the fish would go ahead and run in the barrier and it'd be encompassed. Okay, so with those 3 in mind, we're going to see a Tosfos that explains this Gemara. So let's see it again. So one of the Tanoim says, you'd fish in the Sea of Tveria, which was in the Chelik of Naphtali, provided you don't spread this kela, this type of net. You'll be able to go ahead and capture using nets, these types of nets. So let's look at Tosfos, guys, on the Amid Aleph. Go back to the Amid Aleph, and we'll qualify 3 different types of fishing material, apparatuses. Kol Adam, any person, even from a person not shaving Maftali, would be able to fish. In other words, you won't be able to go ahead and you'd have no sign, no trespassing, no fishing here, right? Any person in Kal Yisrael would be able to go to the Yam Tveria, and I guess that's the Kinneret, and go ahead and fish using a fish hook. And also, anyone is able to spread that apparatus that would impede the boats. So, using a fish hook, everyone can use. No one could use the kela. What about the middle level, that what we call the mechmaros, the nets? Even the Naphtali would not be able to use the kela. As we'll see, shehishnu hashvatim zem zeh. Avol tzadhu b'mechmaros u'bereshes. V'hainu habaylim shu shelahem. Who could go ahead and use the nets? That's Naphtali. So, guys, so now, based upon Tosfos, this is the pshat. When the Tanai of Yeshua was, anyone could use a fish hook, go fishing in the Yam of Tveria using a fish hook. No one in Klal Yisrael is able to go ahead and spread it that would stop the boats. Only Naphtali would be able to use what? The nets. Only Naphtali would be able to use nets. That will explain the three different levels, okay? back on the Yom base. Tanrabanan. But Rishayna hisnu shvatim zemzeh. Initially, the shvatim they went ahead and they made it tanai shlo yifresh kliya. They shouldn't spread this contraption that would impede the boats v'yam asfina. Avol sadhu berishtois uvmechmaros. But they would go ahead and use nets. Avol sadhu berishtois uvmechmaros. Now, what does it mean, Berishayna? The Chayretz Mashma that Shvat made this, but we said Yeshua did this, right? Who made this? Was it Yeshua, or was it the Shvatim? Was it Yeshua who made it, or the Shvatim who made it? So the Torah Chaim says, according to Tosfos, that all could spread rishtais. In other words, that was the right. Yeshua said what, fellas? Originally, they said that all could spread rishtais, right? And the original Tanai was only Naphtali. So, Berishayna, initially, everyone spread these things. But initially, the only one who could spread it was Naphtali. And so they went back, they seemed to go back that only Naphtali could go ahead and using the Rishtais. Eventually, they went back to the original, maybe the opposite. According to Shittas Tosfos, that all could spread Rishtais, and eventually went back to it. So it could be. No, I don't know. I've written on the side of my Gemara, but showing this mashma, they originally right. Originally, they said they all could, and then they went back to what? That only Naphtali. B'chayra. Tan Rabbanan. Yom Shel Tevaya b'chelko sheNaphtali ha'yisav layoid el shenata moli chevel chayrim b'droim. They took a little piece of land in the south. L'kayim ha'shenemar to l'kayim the pasuk. What does the pasuk say? Let me just get the pasuk. L'kayim ha'shenemar uleNaphtali amar Naphtali seva ratzain umoli birchas Hashem yom v'dorim Yerusha the yom of Tveria v'dorim and a piece of the south Yerusha he should inherit, that he should inherit. Tanya Reb Shimon Elazar Omer Telushim shebaharim b'cheskas kol hashvatim heinoimdim. When the Kibush Rishayna, when they captured Eretz Yisrael, all the loose wood that was on the ground was inherited by all the Shvatim. It wasn't limited to the area that the chelik of who it was in, but all the Shvatim would be able to go ahead and use it.
They were allowed to run it to each other's.
Yeah, that's what we said. I mean, that's what tonight was. You could take.
Right,
You'd be able to walk in and take it, right? I mean, again, Yeshua made it tonight that you're able to go into other people's fields, right?
It's different because they're making their field is open area. They're putting their.
This is a mountain. This is a mountain. Okay. Solution shebaharim becheskas kol shvatim me'moindim umechubarim. However, the one that was connected becheskas also shevet was relegated to what? That shevet, that was particular shevet. Ve'en lechol kol shevet v'shevet miyisrael. There's no shevet in Klal Yisrael she'ein loy that did not have behar in the mountain, ubeshvela a low area near water, ubenegev a dry area. That's what Nogav is to be dry. That's where Negev comes from, the desert, guys. The word Nogav to dry. Ube'emek or a valley near a mountain. So those are four. Behar bashvela ubenegev ube'emek. Shnemar pnu sulachem uvo haramori. Right. It says go ahead and turn. Lachem ubo haramori vel kol shchenov ubarava baharu bashvela banegev bachoy fayom eretz haknani valvonin anahor hagadol hapras. So why do we dash from that pasuk? It says barav bahar bashvela banegev bachoy fayom. Bechina tamoitz beknanim ubeprizim b'mayim shelifneim shneimar vel kol shchenov al meshchenov hachayavi. Now, according to Pashat Pshat, fellas, then each one of the shiftei kah had a chelik that had each one of these different topographies. If you look at Tosfos, it says Tosfos upir sheish neichlin gabi chalukas ha'olam haba chalus ha'olam haba. This is speaking about the future. It's not speaking about now. It's speaking about the future. Ein lechol kol echad v'yachem Yisrael kein ner l'beinu tam. That's not speaking about what Yeshua divvied up, but it's speaking about the future Leilam Haba. However, be that as it may, there are Mefarshim that say it is speaking about this, and there's a very nice Ben Yayada that I looked up and I saw. Listen to this Ben Yayada to explain the different why everyone got a piece of the action. Bahar b'shvela b'negev u'be'emek. So now, the Torah we know he said Nasa v'nishma, but by Matan Torah we said Nasa v'nishma. Nasa was going on the chelik of Maisa of Torah, and Nishma was going on listening, learning Torah. In other words, there's the Asiya, there's the Limud, and there's the Asiya. So the Nasa is going on the Siyas, and the Nishma is going on learning. So the Eretz Yisrael was given on the Maisa. Eretz Yisrael was going on the Maisa. David HaMelech writes, "V'yitul lehem in Tilim Kofei, v'yitul lehem artzos hagayim, ba'avur yishmeru chukav." You know that you should yishmeru chukav is to not learn, but to yishmeru chukav. Go physically. It doesn't say yishma or yilmedu. It says yishmer. You should watch. So therefore, Eretz Yisrael was given which chelik of Torah? The Asiyah of Torah, that part of Torah. So its marum is in Bahor Bashvela, Banegev Be'emek. Take the first letter of each one. That's Bahor, the first letter is a hey. Base is a prefix, right? And Bashvela is a shin, Negev is a nun, and Emek is an ayin. So Negev is nun, ayin, sin, hey, nasa. So that's why you needed a piece of the four chalokim to make nasa. The nun in Negev, the ayin in Emek, the shin in Shvela, and the hey in her. That's one pshat. Another pshat, the Torah is merumiz. Pshat is pshat, remez, drush, and soid. The Torah has three chalakim, right? We have drash, pshat, remez, drush, and soid. So the four chalakim of Torah, or lilmod lamed lisha falasai. So again, the significance of four: either nasa and nishma, the word nasa, or the pshat, remez, drush, and soid, or lilmod lamed lishma falasai. That would be the Ben Yayada's explanation of why you needed all these three, since the chelik of Torah is going on the Nasa. Says the Gemara, Eretz Yisrael. Says the Gemara, v'nafnin lachuri hageder. You'll be able to go to the bathroom, defecate behind a fence for tznius reasons. V'afilu b'sadeh shehi molei charkum. And even if the field is a field of saffron, even if the field is a field of saffron. Now, what difference would it make if you're in the field? Right? What difference would it make if you're in the field? So what would you say? Right? What? The odor, maybe? Right? You know what this means, fellas? To take a rock. They used to go ahead, we spoke about, they didn't have Charmin, right? They had rocks. Right? They had rocks, right? Yeah. Okay. We don't have to spend a lot of time on this, fellas. Let's yeah. I don't think this has to make the blog. I don't think it's that they, right. Yeah, right.
No show and tell.
Thursday night. Anyway, Wednesday night. What you learn and share. We'll do Wednesday night. Okay, so
recording stopped.
Okay, even in Shabbos. Now, so what does it mean? What do you mean even b'Shabbos? What are you doing? So you're behind the field, you're behind the fence on Shabbos, and what are you doing? Where are you getting that rock from? So where are you getting that rock from? Where are you getting that rock from? Okay, so there's two possibilities. Either you're getting it from the fence itself, from the geder, or you're getting it from the field. Good? So if you're getting it from the geder, from the fence itself, so you would be going ahead and minimizing the shmira by breaking down the fence. In other words, what's the significance of a soda charkim, a field of saffron, which is a valuable crop? So if it's going, Rashi learns, guys, it's going on the fence. So look at Rashi. Look at Rashi, guys. Says Rashi.
Shabbos was taken before Shabbos anyway.
No. We didn't get there yet. But Rashi says he told the Shamish to put it back in the fence. So obviously, to put it back in the fence, it must be he took it from the fence, right? Okay, we're going to see. I jumped the gun. We show Maisa. Okay, now. So if you took it from the fence, what's the significance of Filah Charkam? The fence now will be more inferior. Again, there is Stam of Avonim. So therefore, you can even do that. There is another pshat that you took it from the field itself. And even if you're going to go ahead and have some charkim on the rock, even if you have some charkim on the rock, you would be able to do that. Okay? So those are the two possibilities, either from the fence itself or from the sada. Now the question is the Hilchas Shabbos inyan. So now, what's the two problems over here in Hilchas Shabbos? So right away, a rock, guys? What's a rock? Muktzah. Say a rock is muktzah, correct? Okay. So again, two inyanim. Let's first deal with the rock. Stam avonim are muktzah, right? So the Ravid says that you took it from the fence. Now you can only take a loose rock from the fence because if it was a cemented rock, you'd be over on Soiser. You'll be going ahead. So it must be a loose rock. Since it's a loose rock, and the Tanai is that you're able to go behind the fence and use that rock, it's considered muchen. It's considered prepared. Because people go all the time. Again, this is what it's like you had kaviyachol, you had a toilet paper behind the right. No, but you understand it's geschmack. Guys, it's geschmack like the Ravid. It's like geschmack. It's not a muktzah problem. It's not a muktzah problem because it's considered what? It's considered prepared. Now, according to the one that's in the ground, I don't know if it's not prepared. That's not prepared. Which it's in the ground. So like that, and this would even answer the first one. Is the Gemara in Daf Tzadik Aleph Amid Beis in Hilchas Shabbos. Daf Tzadik Aleph Beis Hilchas Shabbos says one can carry into a latrine that stone on Shabbos. For the Gemara, ayat muktzah, and for the Gemara, Kavod Habriyos is doiche afilu the lav of leisasser. Where did the Chachamim get the power of making muktzah? Leisasser midivrayim yamun small, right? That's the koyach that they have, the koyach of that lav. But a Kavod Habriyos is doiche that. So therefore, even if it wouldn't be muchin like Rashi, you wouldn't have a problem because what? It's Kavod Habriyos. Okay. Now, what about the boina v'soisa inyan? What about binyan? So it has to be speaking where it's not what, where it's not connected, where it's not connected. Again, like the svaris that what it's taken from the ground, you don't have a problem, right? It's no binyan v'stira over there. The only problem would be if it's in the wall. The only one you'll be able to take in the wall is what is a loose one. So that would take care of the Hilchas Shabbos in Yanam. Let's start them over here. Sure. Should I close the?
No. You want to know how you use it? No. The tutorial. Let's give you the tutorial.
Here's the question.
It's come a long way with the days.
That they had to prepare it because what do they think they're just going to arrive at a location and then the stuff is going to be cemented or it's going to be stuck in or it's going to be not movable. They won't be able to use it.
Okay, so
they probably went. And they went and prepared these things.
That's an assumption. In other words, it's stating over here that you can go into anyone's field behind the gather and use it. And so again, but the only ones you could use would be ones that was loose. Again, it's not talking about lichatchila. A guy knows he's going to. How do you know which where you're going to go, right?
It's like in the Catskills, we had those fences made of rocks.
Catskill, you're in that place. It's no different than behind the fence. I've been in that place, that camp. No difference. The mamish behind the fence and there, the same thing. Right? That place was built old. It never was new, ever. I was there when anyway, weiter.
Found the hotel. How about the hotel? You and Harold? Rabbi and Harold? There was a fence there too?
Weiter entire in Yerushalayim. Rav Chisda. Says Rav Chisda. Va'afilu b'Shabbos, even on Shabbos. Ma'asucha v'chasida shokol mahader. Ma'asucha chasida took it and returned it. And normally Shabbos, he told the Shabbos l'machar the next day you seal sharki. Go ahead, put it back and seal it up. So I guess when was Chayil, he told him to put it back. I don't know what the going that learns Pshat is going from the Sada is what he do with this. Smash from here, he took it from the wall, right? Because he said put it back and cement it. So that Pshat that said took from the field, what does he do with the Gemara? Rav Chisda's mashma, he said put it back in the wall. So it's mashma, it was in the wall.
Yeah, but the ball is better than the center anyway, because it's a muckum fur.
No, I'm speaking at just Pasha how you learn Pshat in the
No, I'm
Gemara.
saying in general, the Shabbos anyway, in the field is a more of a problem, he's putting it back down. On the floor.
No,
He's picking it up, you know?
you're not. You're in the same rishus. Akira enough is two separate rishuyas. You're in the same rishus. I'm saying if you're rishus, you go like this and like this. Is okay. It doesn't make a difference. Even rishus aram, you pick it up. As long as you don't have 4 amas, you're good. Says the Gemara Vaita. B'shvili harishus at sheteru revia shnia, and you're able to walk in the shvili rishus until it comes down what the rain. Amra Papa, the Haidi Don Afilu Tal Koshile. Papa, even in Bavel, we see that they would go in Bavel, Afilu Tal Koshile. Even the tal that falls at night would go ahead and it would not be good. Again, when people would see their fields, then if you're going to go in the shvil, you're going to trample it, it's not good. Now you say this at Drachim. So what happens? It would go ahead and get wet, guys, and then it would get dry, and you'd have potholes, and so you'd be able to walk on the sides to avoid these potholes. Says the Gemara, Shmuel Rav Yehuda Avishakli va'osli. Shmuel Rav Yehuda walking and going along. I've mistalki Shmuel that's there at Drachim, and he walked to the side. Amar Rav Yehuda, Tanor shehisna Yeshua afilu beBavel. In other words, they were in Bavel, and Shmuel was walking to Bavel. So Rabbi Yehuda Shinnos asked Shmuel, is Yeshua's Tanai even in Bavel? Is it not even in Bavel? Yeshua was Maslan Eretz Yisrael. Amalei, so Shmuel told Rabbi Yehuda, Shani Omer afilu b'chutz la'aretz. I hold that even in chutz la'aretz, right? Not only this takana, Yam Shel says all the takanas would even be in chutz la'aretz. Rabbi Chia Habishakli va'ozli. Rabbi and Rabbi Chia, they were walking, but Urcha istalkul etzidei adrachim. They went to the sides. And Rabbi Yehuda ben Knusya, Kamayu, and Rabbi Yehuda ben Knusya, he was walking, jumping over the potholes. He was avoiding them. In other words, he was like making like, I'm better than you. I don't have to use the takana. I can walk in the rishus and rabbim. I don't have to go to the sides. Amalei Rebbe Rav Chia, who's this one who this Balgaiv in front of us who says he's holier than thou and he won't be able to use what the Tanai of Yeshua to use the sides of the road. So Amalei Rav Chia told Rebbe, Shema Rabbi Yehuda ben Knusya Talmidahu. Maybe it's Rabbi Yehuda ben Knusya my Talmid. And all his actions are the Shem Shemayim. Kimatul Kadei, when they got to him, Chazia Amalei, they saw that it was him. Amalei, and Rabbi said he loved Yehuda ben Knusya at Gazrinu l'shacha begizra de parsla. I would go ahead and cut off your feet, meaning I'd put you in chayrim. Because a person who shows himself is holier than thou, they put in chayrim. Okay, the next one was Hatoya ben Akramim, Mefasik v'Yarig, Mefasik v'Oila. He would go ahead, if you're stuck in the vineyard, you don't have to work around the vineyard. To take a shortcut, you can cut your way out. If you see a friend who's wandering, is lost among the Kramim, you're able to go ahead and break through to him until he can find a way. And him as well. What's the b'chein over here? In other words, if you could do it for him, why can't he do it for himself, guys? If you could do it for him, why can't he do it for himself? Some other time I would have thought, he knows where you are, so he knows exactly how to get there. He doesn't know where to go ahead and get out. And therefore, maybe you should go walk around the boundary. In other words, this is a shortcut, but he can find a way to boundary and walk his way around. So maybe we won't let him be mafsid his fence field so much. Maybe he can go walk around the boundary. Why are you telling me this is takana of what of Yeshua the Raisahu the Tanya Hashavas Gufa Minayin? How a person does a chiv hashav on himself if he's lost? He's chayiv to go ahead and can he return himself? Talmud Laima Vishivuhu says the Raisahu the Koi Mitzvah. Okay, so it says Vashivaisa. The pasuk says when it comes to in my car of achicha yelach lo yadatu vasafto toich beischa vayimcha adoresh achicha say v'hasheivaisa. So the din of hashavas is even himself is so Fred the Kasha. Well, he's lost. He said this is the rice that he returned himself. Says no. The rice who the kod mitzri. Did the rice he'd have to go the long way around. Also who taking the mafsig voilim mafsig v'yored came along Yeshua and he said that a person's able to go ahead and get his way out of there. Now the Rabbi holds that you have to pay. Since there's a long way out and you don't have to pay, he said you have to pay for destruction. And the Rashba argues in him and says all these Tanoim were made that a person doesn't have to pay. That a person doesn't have to pay. Okay, finally it says Meis Mitzvah Kaina Mekayma, and Meis Mitzvah is kind of this place. Meaning wherever he dies, that's the place he's kind of. Urimino Alessio Stira. I might see Meis Mutal Bisracha. If a person finds a mace in the road, he's on the road. Mafnei Limin Isracha, you bring him to the side of the road. Or the smallest Isracha, or to the left of the road. And how do you decide? Stay bore. If I'm on the side of the road, there's a fallow field, we stay near. And the other side of the road, there's the field that's been plowed in preparation for seeding. Mafnei Lisad bor, go ahead and bring to the field that's fallow, it's been empty. Stay near or stay zera, mafnei, stay near. You go to not the field that's planted, you go to the one that's plowed. How you stay in by rows, they're all fallow, both of them. Stay in neiros, they're both plowed. Stay ruas, they're both planted. Mafnei levakim shiur, so you go any which way. The bottom line is, guys, you have a problem. Is l'chayra, you see if it makes come, what are you moving it? Where says the Gemara, well again, why are you moving it? So good, he's on the road, so why are you moving it? So
We can bury him on the road.
yeah.
That's not covered in mace.
Okay, why you just put it C in there? Put it C in there. I don't think the roads was. You put it C in there. You're saying it's Koine Makomo. It says Koine Makomo. That's what he said. So much wherever you drop dead, that's it. Says the Gemara, Rabbi b'mutal al meitzar. We're not worried about his cover. We're worried about Tumah v'Taira. Rashi says, guys, that mutal al meitzar, he's leroich by. He's going across with Y, so people will not be able to go by. Problem by the regal, problem by kahanim all year round. So therefore, that's why you move him off. And now, once you have a right to move him, so you can move many places you want. Okay, guys, I did the count for you. Watch. Let's go through it. Marin Charshim is 1. Melaktin Eitzim are the same as 2. Melaktin Asavim except for Fenrik is 3. Cutting the tia except for a fistful of olive tree is 4. Ma'ayna yotzem metil is 5. Machkim b'yomish tveria, fish hooking in tveria is 6. The niftu la'achar ageda afilu any sada of charkum is 7. Mahalkim b'shvila v'shus, right? You go until the rain comes down is 8. Misalkim l'tzali adrachan that go on the sides 9. Hatoya b'chramim. If you're lost in the vineyard, shortcut is 10. Meis mitzvah is 11. Okay? So you got a problem. How can you tell me why it's 9, 10, when you see that why in fact it is 11? And for the Gemara, Mahalchim b'shvili rishus, Shleima Amra. Mahalchim b'shvili rishus was said by Shleima. That was said, that walking on the shvili rishus, that was said by Shleima HaMelech. And therefore, it counts for what? For the 11. That's what, but it really is 10. But Shlomo made this one, right? And Ketanya, Harishakolu Perisem in Asada, right? The person had gone ahead and he gathered in all the Peris in the field. And he doesn't want people to come into his field. What say on him? What does this person have? Nothing's bad. He already took all his Paris. Why can't people use it as a shortcut? What matzah can possibly happen? All this fruit has been harvested. Allah the pasuk says, don't go ahead from being a possibility of being good. Don't call bad. Now the problem is there is no such pasuk. Does it say from the possibility of being good you shouldn't be bad? It doesn't say that. It says in Kasiv ki agavna. We have a similar pasuk. What is the pasuk? What did Shlomo write in Mishlei? Al timna toiv mibalov. Do not hold back the good from a person. B'yos lekel yodchol asayis. So therefore, Shlomo said this one, and the shvil go ahead and use it. Not a problem. Fred Gemara v'suleko. You want to tell me that Yeshua only made 10? There's more. Look at Rabbi Yehuda. This the Takon Rabbi Yehuda. The Tanya. Rabbi Yehuda Aimer. We had this early in the Masechta. B'shas haitzas valim. During the time where people are able to go ahead and put their fertilizer into Rishus Harabim. Other mitzvah zivloy, a person can put it in Rishus Harabim, but cyber kol shleishim, and go ahead and gather it together all 30 days. That it should go ahead and be pulverized by people walking and the animals walking. This was made by Shlomo by Yeshua, says the Gemara. Shalman Askein Hilchli Yeshua Yisrael Saaretz. So here you have an 11th one. I'll give you a 12th one. Vikad Rabbi Shmuel ben Aishal B'Yachim and Breika. The Tanya Rabbi Shmuel ben Aishal B'Yachim and Breika Omer. Tanoi Bezdin who sheyizeh, right? That this is a person who has, guys, like you have a beehive. It's your bees, and you're getting honey from these bees. All of a sudden, the bees literally fly the coop, and they go to another. They're your bees. They go to another person's field and they're on their branch. The Yeshua made it tonight. You're able to cut down the branch and bring the branch back to restore the bees to your rishus. So that's another one. Tonight, Bezdin who that what that Yoreh l'toich sadach haveiroi the koitzet shaykoi. You can cut a good zunta branch off his tree. Shal chaveroi lahatzil nechil shaloi to go ahead and save your bees. The noisin the meis shaykoi shal chaveroi. You pay him for it. So here's the 12th one, right? We have the putting Zevul and Shusarabim Yeshua made and being able to go into your field to save your bees. Says the Gemara tonight, Bezdin who sheyezeh shayfich yeinoi umatzil duvshay shal chaveroi v'noitel demei yeinoi mitoich duvshay shal chaveroi. In other words, a person's able, you have a guy's carrying wine, another guy's carrying honey. The honey bit cracks. Honey's expensive. Throw out your wine and go ahead and save his dvash, and you'll be able to take from the dvash, be able to take your schar. With Tanai Bezdin who that sheyehei mefarikes eitzav, person go ahead. You have a chamor that's carrying eitzim. Another one's b'toyin pishtan shel chaveroi, and you have a breakdown on the pishtan one. So you take off the eitzim and you go ahead and you restore it with the pishtan, because pishtan's worth more than eitzim. So, guy, you're walking along. You have a donkey that's full of pishtan, expensive pishtan. You have a donkey full of cheap wood. The donkey of the pishtan, he meets his creator, and now you go ahead. What do? You throw off your eitzim and you replace it. And you'll be able to take the value of your eitzim from the worth of the pishtan. Similar to taking the value of the wine with honey, you would take it from over here as well. And Amanas Kain, Hinchel Yeshua Es Aretz. So L'chaira, you have Rabbi Yehuda, you have Rabbi Yishmael, you're able to do all this. And for the Gemara, be Yechikai like Harmina. Aten a stam. These are mishnayos that are said in the name of Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Yishmael, and Rabbi Yishmael and Breika, and therefore we're not mentioning what those of Yechidim. Only mentioning was the what of that was stam. Read the Gemara 1 second. You think this is a viable teretz for Kiyasar above and Rabbi Yochanan Echad Ilan Hanoitel Teich Sadach Haveroi the Echad Ilan Asamech LeMeitzar maybe Vikar. Now, guys, in the Parsha Bikurim Derech Hakdama, there's two parshas. There's beginning Bikurim and reading the Parsha Bikurim. And if you're taking for somebody else's, you can't say it. If you have to your Paris, you have to be your Paris, not somebody else's. So you have your tree is growing into somebody's rishus, and the air space is giving nutrients, or you have a root that's going underneath, and it's going into another person's field. And nonetheless, what do you do? V'kiyasa Rab Avin, when he came from Eretz Yisrael, Rabbi Yochanan, he said, "Name Rabbi Yochanan, Echan Ilan Anoita the Toishel Chavei." If you have an Ilan whose branches are Anoita to your friend's rishus, the Echad Ilan Asamech LeMeitzar, or an Ilan that's next to your friend's boundary, you can bring Bikurim. And V'kayra Leia Mikra Bikurim, you can read it. And even though it's not to your friend's field or being shirish and it can be manic from his field, nonetheless it's considered yours. Why? Shamanas Kain and Yeshua Aretz. And this is said stam, guys. And this is not, in other words, this is not Rabbi Shmuel Meracha. It's not Rabbi Yehuda. This was said stam, and this is not included. So therefore, the teretz that you gave is not a good teretz. Again, what's Akasha? It says Yeshua did 10. We counted 11. Shlomo gave us the shvil. Read the Gemara. There's other ones. There's Zevel. There's bees. There's other ones also. Says the Gemara that was Yechidim. Says the Gemara. Here's one by Bikurim. It's not a Yachid. It's a stam. We didn't include that. So now we're gonna be, since that teretz does not apply for this one, we're gonna give you a whole new teretz. So Ella, what's the teretz? Elaman Tana Asara Tanoim Shehisna Yeshua. Who's the 10 Tanoim that Yeshua made? Is Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi who? It's Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi. And in other words, he disagrees with Rabbi Yochanan. Rabbi Yochanan, guys, is the first one. Rabbi Yochanan, Echad Ilan, nothing. He knows he disagrees. The other one's the Yechidim, and he disagrees. So Rav Gavil Mibei Ksil Masti Lehedya, he learned it openly that these 10 were said by the name of Yeshua ben Levi. Rav Tanchem Rav Bryce Amam Yishum Zakin Echad Umana Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi, Asar Tanoim Hisna Yeshua. So in other words, this 10 is that Yeshua made more than 10 Tanoim. But but the other ones, Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi disagree with. This is the list. These 10 are the list of Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi. Good Nacht. Say a Kapitel Hillim.